Right, this is the second part of my interview with Brittany, who was arrested by the Hornlake, Mississippi Police Department. Now, Brittany, what you've described so far is the following. You said that you were traveling a short distance from the home of your boyfriend's family member. You were pulled over within about 1 mile. After being stopped, the officer ordered you out of the car and began yelling at you without any justification, would not tell you why you were stopped, and then ordered you to submit to field sobriety tests. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then at some point during the field sobriety test, the police officer started making lewd comments to you and made a comment to you that you should know how to blow because you worked at Hooters. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And at the time, you were a waitress at Hooters?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you were wearing what you described to me previously as a short skirt and heels. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, where we left off in the previous interview, you told me you were arrested ultimately because you could not complete the sobriety test under the conditions that they were asking you to, which was to walk on gravel in heels or take your shoes off, and that they basically said it was going to be a refusal and you were going to jail. Is that right?
Yes, sir. And on top of the rude and degrading remarks that he was making during the test.
Okay, give me a list of the remarks he was making. What he said that you could blow, you should be able to blow. Now, was this done in front of other police officers? Did they witness this?
No, it was just him behind the car with me. His partner was questioning my boyfriend.
Okay, all right.
And it was just them.
Okay, and do you know if the officer had a dash cam or any sort of recording device on?
I actually looked because of my previous DUI. I wanted there to know that there was a camera, and there wasn't. Not that I know of.
Okay.
And they also told my boyfriend that about the jail when he was beat there that they probably didn't have the recording either of that. That
Okay.
they probably threw it away.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to where we left off, which was at the jail. So ultimately, they arrested you, and then you told me that they were making foul remarks about you at the jail, or to you at the jail. Describe to me the circumstances and tell me where you left off, at least a few moments ago, was that they told you to spread your legs?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who told you to spread your legs?
Yes, sir. Once we were in the room where they searched you, we were pushed up against the wall. We had our hands up against the wall, and they told us to spread our legs. And there was an ununiformed officer in the chair behind me, not even 5 feet away from me, and two sheriffs with them. And they had a good view of me bending over, I'll put it that way, and they told me to spread my legs more. And
Hold
my
it,
voice
hold it,
just
hold it, hold it, hold
said,
it, hold it. They told you to bend over first?
They told me, well, see, my heels were on still, so I was already taller, and when I had my hands up against the wall, it made it even more of, you could see down there.
So they could see your
And
private.
you could,
Hold on,
and
hold
he
on,
was sitting down behind me.
hold on. This officer was sitting down behind you while you
Yes,
had
sir.
your arms up against the bars in front of you, and he told you to
On the
spread
wall.
against the wall, and he told you to spread your legs, and he could see under your dress.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And so my boyfriend politely said, you don't have to do that. You can have a woman officer search you. And as soon as he said that, a sheriff stuck his elbow in the back of his arm, pushed him up against the wall, said, I told you to spread him, mother effer, and they started cussing at us. And a lady sheriff came in and got me and took me to go sit down in the main room
okay.
where they
I,
put you.
I want to go back before your boyfriend was assaulted, just to this point where you were told to spread your legs. Which officer told you to do that?
I don't know his name. All the sheriffs, their badges either didn't say their names or was really small because I didn't get any of their names.
Okay,
At
but
this point, the
was
Hornlake Police Department had left.
the officer so the officer who arrested you had already left?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
At that
now
point,
and
when
now
they
at
took
this
us in there, they were leaving.
okay now at this point you were at what police department? You were at the sheriff's station. What's the name of the sheriff's station that you were at?
Hernando
Hernando
County.
Hernando County Sheriff's Department in Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and these Hernando County Sheriff's deputies, how many were in the room with you?
It was was, I believe, three.
Three of them. Were they all seated or were they all standing up?
Only one was sitting down. The other two were standing up.
Okay, the one that was sitting down was sitting
And
behind.
it was a very small room.
Okay, the one that was sitting behind you was less than 5 feet away from your backside.
Yes, sir. And he was telling me to shut the F up and more. He was just cussing at me. And I was like, you can't talk to me like that. And that's when they told me.
Well, two things I want you to do. I want you to use the exact words that they used. So if they said motherfucker, then say that word. And even if it's uncomfortable, I want you to just tell me in exact language what was said to you, because we need to get to the bottom of this. So tell me what they said in their own words and which ones, even if you don't know, let's just name them 1, 2, and 3. The officer sitting down is number 1. One of the officers standing up is number 2, and the other one's number 3. Now, this guy who's number 1, who's sitting down, was there any reason that you could tell that he needed to be sitting right behind you like that?
From what I could see, when we were first taken in there, he was telling them something like they only found an ounce. They only found like some gram or some kind of degree of measurement on him. So I was supposing maybe they found drugs on this guy, but he was an officer, so maybe he could get away with it. That's what I understood from the situation. I didn't really know.
Well, hold on. I'm not sure. Was he an officer or was he a suspect?
I believe he was an officer. They were treating him like he was an officer.
Okay, were people responding to his directions?
Do what?
I mean, were people responding to things that he told them to do?
He didn't tell them to do anything.
Okay.
He was just telling me to do things.
Okay, so they put you in the room with this man who obviously must work for the sheriff's office. He wasn't in a uniform.
Right.
Okay, and when they put you in the room with him, he started telling you what to do in regards to spreading your legs, so and so on. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I didn't hear what they said, but they were saying something about my skirt, and I just heard them say something about skirt. And then that's when he told me, I said, what? And he said, shut the fuck up. He said, you shut the fuck up.
Okay, and hold on. Wait a minute. He told you to shut the fuck up. Now, was there anybody else in there with a uniform on?
Yes.
Okay.
They said nothing.
Okay, that's all I need to know. That if they were standing by while he was making these comments, he's employed there. So my question to you now is, when he asked you to spread your legs and he was sitting down behind you, you started telling me some stuff about what his position was and so on. What I want to know is this. Was there any legitimate reason for him to be seated where he could see up your skirt?
There wasn't a reason for him to be, but there was one chair in the room and he was sitting in it.
Okay, so he's sitting in this chair, he's telling you to shut the fuck up, and he's giving you orders, and he's now telling you to spread your legs. Did you actually spread your legs to comply with what he told you to do?
It was actually, as you would say, number 2, the officer number 2, who told me and my boyfriend to spread our legs. They said, we should spread y'all's legs, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when my boyfriend said, you don't have to do this. You can have a woman officer search you.
Okay.
And number 2 pushed him up against the wall, kicked his legs apart where they were spreading them more, and they tried to kick my legs apart, and a woman officer came in at that point and pulled me out of there and sat me down, changed my leg up to a chair in the big room.
Okay, but here's what I want to get to. Either you have a sexual misconduct action or you don't, and I need to know if this officer was out of line. Did you feel that it was appropriate for him to tell you to spread your legs when you were told to under those circumstances?
Did I do what now?
When the officer told you to spread your legs, did you feel uncomfortable? Did you feel that it was something that was intended to do a legitimate law enforcement purpose, like search you? Or did you think that this officer was trying to look under your dress?
Oh, I definitely felt uncomfortable. My legs were spread like a normal person spreads them when they're being searched.
Okay.
They were asking for over, I don't know. They were definitely making me spread my legs over the limit.
Okay. And did you tell them that was not what you wanted to do, that it made you uncomfortable, or were you too afraid to say